The Fair Jilt, or the History of Prince Torquil and Miranda. As love is the most noble and divine passion of the soul, so it is that to which we may justly attribute all the real satisfactions of life, and without it, man is unfinished and unhappy. There are 1,000 things to be said of the advantages this generous passion brings to those whose hearts are capable of receiving its soft impressions. For 'tis not every one that can be sensible of its tender touches. How many examples from history and observations could I give of its wondrous power? Nay, even to a degree of transmigration. How many idiots has it made wise? How many fools eloquent? How many home-bred squires accomplished? How many cowards brave? And there is no sort of species of mankind on whom it cannot work some change and miracle, if it be a noble, well-grounded passion, except on the fop in fashion. The hearted, incorrigible fop, so often wounded, but never reclaimed. For still by a dire mistake, conducted by a vast opiniotrasium, and a greater portion of self-love than the rest of the race of man, he believes that affection in his mien and dress, that mathematical movement, that formality in every action, that face managed with care and softened into ridicule, the languishing turn, the toss, and the back shake of the periwig, is the direct way to the heart of the fine person he adores, and instead of curing love in his soul, serves only to advance his folly. And the more he is enamored, the more industrious he assumes every hour the coxcomb. There are love's playthings, a sort of animal with whom he sports, and whom he never wounds, but when he is in good humor, and always shoots laughing, 'tis the diversion of the little god, to see what a fluttering and bustle one of these sparks, new wounded, makes to the fantastic fooleries he has recourse. The glass is ever moment called to counsel, the valet consulted and plagued for new inventions of dress, the footman and scrutor perpetually employed, billets d'ox and madrigals take up all his mornings, till playtime, and dressing, till night, and gazing, still, like a sunflower, turned towards the beams of the fairy eyes of his Celia, adjusting himself in the most amorous posture he can assume, his hat under his arms, while the other hand is put carelessly into his bosom, as if laid upon his painting heart, his head a little bent to one side, supported with a world of cravat string, which he takes mighty care not to put into disorder, as one may guess by never failing and horrid stiffness in his neck, and if he have an occasion to look aside, his whole body turns at the same time, for fear the motion of the head alone should incommode the cravat of periwig. And sometimes the glove is well managed, and the white hand displayed. Thus, with 1,000 other motions and formalities, all in the commonplace or road of foppery, he takes infinite pains to show himself to the pits and boxes a most accomplished ass, This is he of all humankind, on whom love can do no miracles, and who can know where and upon no occasion quit one grain of his refined foppery, unless in a duel or a battle, if ever his stars should be so severe and ill-mannered to reduce him to the necessities of either. Fear then would ruffle that fine form he had so long preserved in niceties order with grief, considering that an unlucky chance would in his face, if it's such a dire misfortune should befall him, would spoil the sale of it for ever.